What's up, y'all? It is the one and only James Roan, future leader of the next generation, and you are watching the one and only Hype Talk TV.
Hello, everyone. This is HypeTalkTV. I am your host, Alessandro, here with a very special guest. His name is James Roan, and he is an artist. Introduce yourself, James Roan.
Yes, I am James Roan, born and raised in Miami, Florida, and I'm happy to be here today with Alessandro from Hype Talk TV.
So, you rap, of course, and you do. What else do you do?
I love to write. I love to sing. I love to do voiceover narrations for different commercials. I've done stuff for breast cancer and Gap and Miami-Dade College as well. So I love to utilize my voice a lot. Also love to film my own visuals, direct films, and shoot my own stuff. So editing the whole nine.
So, when did you become an artist?
I became an artist at the age of 14. That's when I fell in love with music and the art. I didn't take it serious till a couple years later back in high school and decided like this is what I want to do. And just when you try something for the first time and you discover, hey, I'm good at this. This is my talent. This is what I'm born to do. And it was just on and running from there, So.
Awesome. And then, so you were 14 when you started doing music, right? Like professionally, or when did you start professionally, like saying, oh, I want to do this and I want to put my money into it and make it my own craft and put a high budget in all my stuff and make it super, cool?
Well, I feel like once you are recording music, anytime you put out a project, I feel like that's when you're a professional, even if it's a mixtape, because you have published work out in the universe, in the market, in the web. So anytime you go from just rapping with your friends and doing freestyles to making music and putting out published work, that's when you're professional. But I didn't start really investing into what I was doing, performances, doing features and blog placements and all of that till I was like 18, 19. I put out a few mixtapes, projects here and there, but now it's really starting to pick up and it's developing. I started out with my name being Democracy. Yeah.
Why the name Democracy?
It was basically just one of those things. It's like nothing political either. It was just by the people, for the people, and I wanted to make music for the people. But what happened is I was like, you know what? That's kind of corny. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna just go with my name, James Roan, and it sticks. And that's what that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm gonna stay at.
So I was listening to your music, right? And I get influences from, basically, you kind of sound similar to Vince Staples a little bit. You know who Vince Staples is, right?
Oh, for sure. He's a really dope artist, good lyricist, and he's one of the guys that when I say by the people, for the people, my first name, he makes music that people can actually relate to. It's real life stuff. So that's a compliment to get compared to somebody like that,
Yeah.
So
You guys sound very similar. And who else are your influences and inspirations to your craft, your music?
if I were to really tell you each and every person, I can literally go down a list for like 30 minutes straight. But just to narrow it down, favorite rappers: Tupac, Nas, Jay, Eminem, Outkast, and singing as well. I love Aaliyah, I love Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, even some of the news like her, Ella Mai, Summer Walker, Janae Aiko. Oh, for sure. I love Outkast, So, and I could keep going from there. DMX, Lil Wayne, the list goes on.
So mostly lyricist and some melody type of artist, right?
Definitely.
So who are the current people right now that are out now that are kind of popular to like everyone that you're listening to?
Right now, to be honest, a lot of the music I listen to now is probably from artists that have already still been out, but they're still current, But J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. I really like I said, it's mostly R&B I listen to now. I try not to listen to too much rap because when you listen to something so much, I feel like subconsciously you start to kind of sound like that.
You get tired of it.
Yeah, and especially nowadays, it's just I want to bring something different to the table, so I try to not listen to too much rap so I don't get the influence, and I try to stay as original to myself and my own sound as possible.
So how do you stay original to yourself?
Basically,
That's a hard question.
It is. But and that's a case in point. Like example, I had a coworker who asked me, "Hey, did you hear J. Cole's album yet?" Funny thing about this is, so I was releasing one of my projects, a song from my next album titled Power Forward. The song and the single is titled What's Up Now. Video came out today, song came out today. Point is, I had the release date set for the 14th weeks ago. And then out of nowhere, J. Cole, who's been missing for 3 years, decides, oh, I'm going to put mine out on the same day, his album. And I'm like, no. So I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm excited too because I've been waiting for Cole to release something new. But not on the same day as me, man, you know. But I'm excited. I haven't heard it yet. I'm not going to listen just yet because I want to make sure I get my stuff, you know. Exactly. But when it's done, oh, every day, all day, all night, I'm blasting his music. So that's usually how it is for most artists.
And then talking about that, your music and whatnot, projects. What projects you got coming out? You just mentioned one that you're currently in the process of. What other stuff?
So yeah, I got the next album titled Power Forward. It's going to be something that's a bit more introspective, something that's going to knock hard, touch on social issues. It's not going to be too preachy. It's not. It's just an all-around array of how I represent myself as an artist, talking about real life things. And there's going to be some moments on the album where I showcase my skill set, just having fun. And, you know, got features from Lil Ominous on there, Beijing Baby, and others. After that album, I have something else, another album titled Elements of Life, produced by Richie B. I have another project that I'm coming out after that. So I'm sitting on literally 3 albums worth of material right now that I'm holding off for until Power Forward is done.
Right now?
Yeah, right now, 3 albums worth of stuff.
And where do you see yourself? Talking about right now, let's see, 5 years from now, 3 years, what do you see yourself doing? You still think you're going to still be doing music? What's going to happen?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Music is number one. Music is gonna be the how do you say, when you plant a seed, you have to plant it, you have to nurture it, water it, grow it. The music is gonna be the seed. That's gonna be, you know, the ground level. But eventually I wanna do, you know, films, maybe eventually even act. I also wanna do guest speaking for kids. I wanna host events for kids, seminars, the whole 9. I want to do a lot of things for different communities, not just where I'm from. I'm born and raised in Miami, but I want to. There's people everywhere else too, you know.
Yeah, it's the world.
Exactly. So I want to do stuff. I'm not saying I want to be a humanitarian or nothing like that, but I want to give back. But music is going to be the staple. That's going to be the number one. Once I feel like I fulfilled myself there, and there is no set goal or limit either. The sky's the limit, and I want to keep pushing as far as I could go. But I want to do more stuff in film too, acting and stuff for kids, and you know.
And to leave your mark right as James Roan.
Definitely. Like I say, I am the self-proclaimed future leader of the next generation. I solely believe that. I feel like my music could really reach a lot of people and touch a lot of people in ways that, you know, when they listen to other stuff, they'll know, okay, this is good for this, but when I hear his stuff, it's like you can really relate to it. There's real problems out here, you know what I'm saying? And I want to touch on the stuff that's not being pushed in the mainstream market, but also having fun at the same time. You know, I'm not going to tell anybody how to live their life because that's not my place to do that, but I want to make music that's going to hit home but still make you feel good at the same time and have fun. That's what it's about.
So do you ever think that you'll ever grow out of love from music? Like you'll think of it as a job? Because, you know, gradually over time when you do something for so long and you need money, of course, because the world revolves around money, you think it'll be fun anymore?
Well, if I'll put it like this. If you fall out of love with anything, did you really love it in the first place? Because the reason why I say that, if it's something that you were born to do, a gift you were born with, and something it's in you, you can never grow. You might take a break, but right, and you need that. And everything you do in life, you got to take a break, otherwise you go crazy. But you can never fall out of love with it. You always find yourself going back to it. So I feel like I will always have a love for music. I will never stop doing it. There are some other areas where I feel like I have untapped potential in, but music is always going to be number one, and I'm always going to do it. Whether I'm working a 9 to 5 like I am now, but I still make it my priority to really push myself to new limits in music. So whether it's a 9 to 5 now, or on the Billboard charts and others where I portray myself to be in the next few years, or even less. So that's my goal.
And James Roan, your name. How did you come up with that name? Is that your actual name, or is that your artist name?
That's my actual name, real government name. So I was like, you know what? Democracy, let's be honest, man. Who's going to be like, hey, you heard that new Democracy?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna portray back to like political terms, and I didn't want to really get involved in that.
Political rapper?
No, not even. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with my name. Think about it like this: a lot of the artists that you see that are here today, going tomorrow, they use like a different stage name or what have you. But I wanted to just keep it simple and be myself, literally be myself. And if you notice, the groundbreaking artists, the legends, and the iconic artists all use their real names.
Some, because DMX is R.I.P. to him. He's one of the greatest, and he didn't.
Yeah, but there's more. Like example, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, Kanye West. That's his actual name. Kendrick Lamar. That's his actual name. So it's like, these guys, man. I really take a lot of I give my respect to them, and they're the ones who are paving the way for the generation and artists today. So it gave me inspiration to just say, hey, you can't be yourself more than literally using your name. So I felt like I should do that too,
Yeah, I remember Kanye was one of the first very mainstream rappers to have influences of anime in his music and all that, and punk also, a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think Kanye West has one of the greatest discographies ever as a rapper. I can't think of too many rappers that has album after album after album, and each album was like, it was like monumental. So a lot of people, was talking this and that when he was going through his struggles, but look, man, give the man his flowers while he's here, because it's not too many artists that you're gonna see from here on out that's gonna have impacts like that on the culture. So
yeah, super consistent artist. Except for his last two like kind of albums, they were kind of iffy, but they were not terrible,
Yeah, it's more of gospel and Christian, and so that's a whole nother market and genre in itself. So the average person who's not really religious like that, they wouldn't really gravitate towards it. But from a listening standpoint, sonically, the music, the beats, the production, what he's talking about in that genre, if you're into that, it's still great,
So you see yourself in 4 to 5 years still doing music, of course. Is there any goals and accomplishments you want to have done? Like, what are your goals in those 5 to 10 years from now? You want to have that is done.
I don't really want to place a cap on myself. I don't really want to say, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z, because then it's like, okay, if you place, like, I always go back to boxing. I use guys like Tyson Fury as an example. He said he wanted to become world champion, and he wanted to beat Vladimir Klitschko. And guess what? He set a milestone. When he reached it, it was like, okay, you reached it, now what? And what happened was he literally beat Vladimir Klitschko, who was undefeated in 11 years, won all the belts, and he hit a wall. Boom. Depression, overweight, drugs, the whole nine. And he had to literally leave boxing for a few years because the mental was kind of affected by all of that. So I don't really want to place any limits on myself. There are some things I want to do, but, charting the billboards, a couple of accolades here and there won't hurt, but I'm not going to say that's what I'm doing it for. I just want to do my music. Whoever likes it, great. If you don't, that's cool too. But I definitely want to do it at a much higher level than I am now. So
yeah, basically just do you. But there's always, I feel like this should be for everyone. You should always be leveling up, no matter what you're doing. Basically trying to improve in every aspect of your life,
Right. You never want to set boundaries or settle yourself short. You can always improve. You can always learn. I'm always willing to learn. I would never think that I know everything or what have you. LeBron James still develops and gets better, even though he's like the greatest of this time. But there's nothing like, it doesn't matter if you're the very, very best. There's always going to be somebody who knows something that you don't. So why not learn? You should always learn something if you can. I would never be too hard on myself, or think that anybody is beneath me. And I'm not even that kind of guy. If it's something that I don't know too much about, then I'm willing to listen and learn. So.
And which you were talking about Lil Ominous. That's one person you're collabing with. Is there anybody else you want to collaborate with? Even dream collabs?
The list is too long for that. A lot of the people that I would love to collab with aren't even really active like that anymore because they're older and what have you. But I'm willing to work with anybody and everybody. I don't care if it's from from rock to punk to alternative to rap. I don't care. If it makes sense, I will do it. It's just really that simple, So anybody.
So you'll dabble into whatever type of music, right? You're not just one rap, right? You'll dabble into singing, whatever genre of music that you could think of.
Yes, definitely, because I feel like you should never, once you stop, keeping your horizons open to different things, you'll limit yourself and you'll hit a wall and you'll peak and you won't be able to explore what you could, potentially grow into if you only listen to one type of music or you only do one style. I'm willing to experiment. Not saying I'm gonna go completely off the wall into some universal stuff, no, but you always want to just see what you can do, what you're capable of, and say, hey, I didn't even know I could sing like this. I didn't know I could rap this fast. I didn't know. You always want to try things out and see if you can do it. Like I said, sky's the limit. So
any final thoughts or final sayings you want to say to everyone who's watching this right now?
What I want to say to everybody is 2021 is the year that James Roan will make his imprint on the game, and I appreciate platforms for giving up-and-coming artists like myself an opportunity to show what they have to offer to the world. I do have some projects coming. I do have songs, visuals, the whole nine. So I will leave my imprint in the game, make my way into the game, and just go up from there. It's my goal to become like a world champion in music. I always use sports as an example. It's because it's what I believe in. So James Roan is coming. Slow progress is better than no progress. Keep fighting for your dreams and things will happen for you.
And where can people find you at? I forgot to ask. What's your social medias, your platforms that your music is on, all that?
Yeah, sure. James Roan, everything. I use James Roan _ because, believe it or not, there is another James Roan in Florida. Yeah, in Florida.
South Florida?
I think he's more up north. But he's the complete opposite of me in every way. So I can't just use James Roan and that's it. So it's James Roan _ on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Just type in James Roan. I'll come up. Spotify and all streaming platforms, James Roan. And I want to get my own site soon too. So I'm working on that. Cool.
No merch or anything like that?
It's coming soon. I already have my layouts. I have my logos. But when the time is right, I feel like once I create a little bit more of a buzz, you want to work hard. You always work hard at what you do because that's how you get your skill level up. But you also want to work smart. It doesn't really make sense for me to put out merch at this very second because who's going to buy it other than family and friends, close friends. So the merch will come. The site will come. And, the big attractions to my name and my brand and what I represent as an artist and as a person will come as well. So if you stick with me, I'll stick with you. I'll support you. If you support me, much love to everybody. And James Roan will definitely be a household name pretty soon.
Any plugins as well? Like any shout outs to people out there that's close to you or artist?
I don't want to get myself set up, so I'm going to just say shout out to anybody out there who's working towards their dreams. Even if you have jobs, you work 7, 8, 9 hours, you still have another 6, 7 hours after you get off, even if it's late, to still work on your stuff. So shout out to anybody who's working on their dream. Shout out to anybody who feel like, their time hasn't come yet. It will come. Just put in the work hard, work smart. So shout out to anybody who's watching, who support me. and support your peers and your family too. You know, don't shoot their dreams down. You always want to uplift them as well as yourself. So shout out to anybody who's trying day to day to live out their dreams. So oh, that wind is strong. Right.
So why should people care about James Roan?
It's not even that they have to care about me, as opposed to, it's just, you know, it's the music. And the reason why I say that is because I don't want to get caught up in this era of how things are. What I mean by that is, you have the artist and the voice and the music. We live in a time where, hey, if you don't post on social media every 2 seconds, people forget about you. If you don't post who you're dating, what you're eating, where you're at, what you're doing outside of what you're offering already, people feel like, oh, well, you know, that's not enough. You know, so I just want people to know the voice, know me as an artist. I'm a very private guy. You know, I don't really step out too much. I don't go to parties, none of that. I'm an introvert, true definition of. I spend a lot of time by myself. So I'm not going to too much be posting my personal stuff, even though I love the car scene. So you will see a little bit of that stuff, cars and whatnot. But I just want people to know, hey, when it comes to music, this guy really puts in the work. He works hard, he works smart, and he's never going to disappoint his fans and his supporters. He's always going to give 110%. So,
all right, man, that's a perfect way to close this out. So guys, go follow him and whatnot, and all his social medias. He said James Roan on everything, and with the space, right, or the underscore.
Yeah.
Stream his music and all that, and support him, of course. He really needs it. And support me as well, because, you know, I'm out here doing interviews. So this has been HypeTalkTV with James Roan, and that's a wrap.